Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Who is our super trainer today? Hey, Ricky, who is doing the training this morning?
That's me.
That's you?
Yeah.
Melissa Means is doing the training?
Yeah, that's my maiden name. Lucas is the name. I just need to update my Zoom.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Melissa and Chris.
What's up?
Yep, no, set up.
Hey.
All right, guys, I'm gonna set the recording and then just leave my computer open. So 1 second.
Sounds good.
So welcome as everybody's jumping on board. You guys, we're going to be getting started in about 2 minutes, but you are in for a treat tonight. We have Melissa Lucus, who has jumped through the ranks in a very, very fast manner, totally kicking butt by following a system, and she's going to be sharing what that system is and how she did what she's doing, but more importantly, how you can plug into a system that can help you go out there and achieve the success that you want. So I am extremely excited to introduce you guys to Melissa Lucus. Melissa Lucus,
Hello,
the
hello.
floor is yours.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
It's wonderful to see you.
It's great to see you too. I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's see. I think did we lose Chris? I think we lost Chris. Let's see.
I think he handed it off to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize he did, but we can get started.
I'm just
Okay.
guessing.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. So it looks like there are a few people hopping on. You guys, if you are on, if you wouldn't mind hitting the mute button when you hop on, that would be awesome and so helpful, just so we don't have any background noise. I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to take a ton of your time today. I will tell you a little bit about myself. So as you know, my name is Melissa Lucus. I am a mom of 5. We have a blended family, and their ages are 9, 8, 7, and almost 6, and we have a 6-week-old. So basically, we are very, very busy people. So, you know, I started this business when I was still pregnant towards the end of December. If you guys can go ahead and put yourselves on mute, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. I think, let's see, we have a couple not muted yet. Okay. Chris, can you mute people? Okay, I think we're good. Cool. So we lead a pretty busy lifestyle. We have, 100 kids. All of them are in sports, and we are just really busy people. So in December, I stumbled on this Happy Coffee. A friend of mine, Enrique and Nancy, they introduced me to this opportunity. And at first I was thinking, coffee? I mean, I like coffee. I love coffee, but I don't know how I'm going to turn this into a business. Then, of course, I met Chris and Ricky, and that changed everything for me. So how I've been able to launch my business successfully, I'm just going to give you guys a few tips of what has worked for me. Hopefully it will help you as well. And, as you onboard and you add people to your team, make sure that you're taking the time to get them started right. That is such a crucial part of this journey. A lot of times people will start in network marketing and they don't really get the time and attention that they really deserve. And they end up quitting really soon after because they didn't get that time and that attention. So make sure that you are taking the time to do that with your people.
Excuse me, Melissa. Everyone that is not muted, please mute your phones. Mute your phones because we can hardly hear Melissa, and I want to hear this training. Thank you.
Thank you, Francisco. Okay. So some things that helped me, the very first thing that I would have you guys do is to contact your warm market. Your warm market are your friends, your family, the people in your circle who you're close to. Pick up the phone and just be willing to share your excitement and ask the famous question that everybody on this call should know and be very comfortable with, which is, have you heard of the happy coffee that everybody is talking about? You know, that language, you guys, we hear that so much in this team. If you're new to this team, you don't know that yet, but you will hear that a lot. It is the system. You guys, that little phrase works so well. So the first thing I did to launch my business is I picked up the phone, I shared my excitement, and I asked people, have you heard of
Hey, Melissa, I just muted you because I wanted to mute everybody. I'm going to turn the host over to you. And then I'm also, just unmute yourself.
Okay, we're back. Chris made a little adjustment. Thank you, Chris. Okay, so the thing that I did, I picked up the phone, I called my warm market, and I was just really excited. And I said, have you heard of this happy coffee everyone is talking about? You guys, when you say that line, initially I was like, I don't know if I want to say that line. It doesn't really sound like me. And I thought it was a little too cool for that line, to be honest. And I'm not. And so what I realized is by saying that, you're creating FOMO, you're creating a fear of missing out, because people are immediately thinking, oh, everybody's talking about a happy coffee. I haven't heard about this happy coffee. What am I missing out on? So that line, get very comfortable with saying that. So I say, you heard of this happy coffee everyone is talking about? And they're like, no, what is it? And so in that next moment, I share, you know, oh, it's delicious. All I do is add it to my regular coffee in the morning. And I share what it's done for me in 2 or 3 sentences. You guys don't want to word vomit on your friends and family or anyone really. So what that sounds like for me is, yeah, I started drinking this happy coffee. I have so much energy. I feel fantastic. I just feel lighter and happier. I've lost my baby weight. And most importantly, I'm nicer to my husband and I'm more patient with my kids. And I feel freaking fantastic. And people immediately, when you share in your voice, you share what it's actually doing for you and you're not being cheesy, people are going to be interested. From that point, my next step is, hey, I'm going to send you a video, watch it right now, and I'm going to call you right back. Okay, bye. And hang up, send a dose of happy, and, or did I get that wrong? happydose.com. There we go. And I send that, and then I follow up with him immediately. From that point, I do exactly what Chris has taught us to do. Do you see why I'm so excited? At that point, they're going to say, yeah, it's, you know, it looks interesting. My next question is, what aspect are you most interested in? Or what makes the most sense to you? At that point, a lot of times people share with me, yes, happydose.com. Thank you, Francisco. At that point, I then say, you know, would you like to see some testimonials? And I immediately, so I have on my phone, I have an album in my my photos, and it's just called Elevate. And I have all of my favorite before and afters saved there. I have lots of screenshots saved there from texts from people sharing their positive testimonies. And so I can very easily access that album and send those before and afters to my prospect. So that's what I do. I send them about 3 to 5 pictures that would speak to them or inspire them. Almost always people are like completely blown away, just like the rest of us. And they immediately say, okay, how much is it? From there, I say, hey, I'm going to add you to a group on Facebook because I don't want you to just hear this from me. You need to hear what other people think about this stuff. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's the truth. People are able to post whatever they feel there. I want you to see it for yourself. So I add them to a funnel page. We have a team one, but there is the Team Rise community page. If you're not a part of that, make sure that you get yourself in that and leverage that as a tool for your business. It is a phenomenal tool. So I just add them there. You guys, I let that group do the heavy lifting for me. Excuse me. It does so much of the work because people get to see all these constant testimonies. They see that there's so many people excited about the coffee, having fantastic results and experiences. And here's the other thing, you guys, once you've added them to that group, let's say they become your customer. What if the weight loss is slow for them? This does happen sometimes, but there's still powerful testimonies in there from maybe others who have experienced that same thing and say, hey, keep going, or hey, make sure you add Xanthomax or add Chocovate. So you're going to continue using that as a tool even once they become your customer. That is what I did initially to launch my business. That is what the phone work sounds like for me. It's very simple. It's a back and forth about, 4 to 5 times. Add them to the group, and don't be afraid to ask for the close. I'm going to share this with you guys. So backstory on me a little bit. This is my third network marketing company. I started in a health and fitness company. I was there for 5 years. I didn't know what I was doing. I did not take it seriously. I didn't have help or a system or simplicity. It was a huge disaster. But in that process, I did fall in love with network marketing because I realized, there's something to this. My second company, I did pretty well there. And, but I learned a lot in the process. I learned a lot of what not to do. And one of those things was that I was a little bit timid to ask for the close for a long time. Here's the thing. People are looking for solutions. They're looking to feel happier. A lot of people are looking to lose weight. A lot of people have anxiety or depression or things that you may not even know about. And so do not be afraid, you guys, to share these things with people with confidence. If you're having a positive experience, this is what I want you to think about. If you're new to network marketing, chances are that you're struggling with the idea of being too salesy. I totally struggled with that for way too long. I was thinking, I don't want to say certain things because they're going to think I'm being pushy or I'm being salesy or I'm being slimy. And so I hesitated a lot and I wasted a lot of time, my time, everybody else's time. And what I realized is that I was having a phenomenal experience with a product. I was having a phenomenal experience with a business. It was, bringing income to my family. It was helping us pay bills. It was making us feel better. But I was still thinking, if I say certain things, I'm going to be slimy. I had to have a mindset shift around that. And it was the reason I was feeling slimy, the reason I was feeling salesy was because I was only thinking about my gain in that process. I was only thinking about, making, a little bit of money off of this sale or whatever it was. I was only focused on myself. It was very selfish. And that is why I felt slimy. That is why I felt salesy. But the moment I realized, wait a minute, I feel so much better. I am happier. I feel so good. And I'm bringing income to my family. Why would I hold that back from people? That mindset shift has to happen, you guys. And the moment that you really embrace that mindset shift, and the moment you really understand what this is doing for you, you will not feel salesy anymore. You will not feel slimy. And because you won't feel that way, you're not going to communicate in that way. You're going to start communicating in a very genuine way. And you're going to be thinking about their gain and their benefit the whole time. And you're no longer going to hesitate. So that was a big tip. I hope you guys really embrace that. Take that seriously. When you start thinking about the gain of other people, how is this going to impact their life? How is this going to help them? Everything's going to shift. Your communication, your posture, you're going to have your shoulders back when you're talking to people. You're going to be excited and you're not going to hesitate. So make sure that you are keeping the focus on how this is going to help other people. And you're going to feel so much better about this whole thing. So that is such a big tip. What else do I want to share with you guys? So how I launch on social media. First of all, you guys, I want you to understand that Amy Smith is a total badass. I don't know if we're allowed to say that on this call, but I just did. So there it is. She's amazing. So I'm not going to try to pretend that I can teach you better than she can, because I can't. So go back and watch that training on social media. It's fantastic. But what I will share with you is the content that has worked for me. So Don't be weird. Okay. This is the number one thing. When people get into a business, they start getting nervous. They start acting a little weird. They start not sounding like themselves. Suddenly they get just strange, and their friends are like, oh, another one bites the dust. Great. Another one's in network marketing, and now I can't have that friend anymore because she's going to try to sell me coffee every time she sees me. Don't be that person. Okay. So what you want to do when it comes to content on social media is, if you wouldn't say it to their face and say it, in conversation, don't do it on social media. Okay. People love you for who you are. People want to be around you. People like certain qualities about you. Just keep being yourself. That is the main thing I want to stress to you guys. And guess what? Whoever that is, whoever you are, that is enough to be successful in this business. I used to, when I first got into network marketing, I'd look at other people on social media and I was thinking, dang, their content is like really well thought out. Their pictures are perfect. And I was breaking myself down in that process of thinking, well, I'm not this and I'm not that. So, maybe that's why they're successful and maybe I won't be. Guys, that is the worst thing you can do. I don't know if this resonates with anybody, but I want to make sure that we're very clear about this. Do not compare yourself to anybody else. Here's the thing. People are going to love hearing from you. They're going to love hearing your story. They're going to celebrate you and be excited for you as long as you remain you. Something that helps me is that my content is me. For my recommendation to you guys is that you understand that you are your own brand, not Elevacity, not Happy Coffee, none of that stuff. Your brand is you. So I would not advise you to post pictures of the coffee, like of the packaging. Post pictures of your coffee cup all day long if you want to. Do not post pictures of the actual products themselves that say Elevate on them, because what's happening, one, you are going to come off like salesy, and that's not going to be good. But two, you are removing the opportunity to have a conversation with people. So if you give them what you're doing, in a post, and you have a bag of, you see this on social media all the time, and I cringe every time I see it. People will hold up a product and they're like kissing their product, and you can see the name, and it completely takes away all curiosity. So people who are watching you and are curious about what you're doing, they're not going to message you now. They're not going to comment and ask you what you're doing now because they already know. So instead, they're going to Google it, and you missed an opportunity for conversation. So no posting that type of stuff. What I like to do is I add a lot of things in the stories. I add a lot of posts and, drinking the coffee or mentioning the coffee and what it's doing for me. That works really, really well. Most of my content is just about my life. It's about my family. It's about the fun stuff or the funny stuff or the embarrassing stuff. I've gotten pretty comfortable with being an open book on social media. Not everybody is ready for that. You go at your own pace. But understand that the more relatable you are to people, the more that they're going to feel connected to you, and the more that they're going to be open to having conversation with you and curious about what you're doing. I used to think, in these early days with all the comparison stuff, I used to think that I had to be perfect in order to be inspiring or to, have any sort of positive influence on people. And what I realized that the more imperfect that I am and the more that I share my imperfections, people relate to me more. People are way more open to just being a part of my life and wanting to know what I'm doing and trusting me, which is so, so important. This is a relationship-driven business. And so I forget the quote. There's a quote about, not being a shark, and it's great. If somebody knows it, pop it in the chat because it's fantastic. But basically, you want to focus on being you, on building relationships with people. Another thing that I want to touch on, you guys, when you do have an opportunity to talk to somebody in person, this is just good life practice, and it's going to help you in your business as well. Become a really good listener. People are not going to remember you by what you say to them. They're going to remember you by how you make them feel. You have to become a master listener. And a part of that is being able to repeat back what they've just said to you so that you can extend on that. Find ways to relate to people. That's just a free tip on there. Let's see. So when it comes to social media, something else that helps me in regards to content is when I mentioned to you guys that you are your own brand, I don't want that to be an overwhelming thing or something that adds pressure to your life. It's not about that. It's about, okay, asking yourself, who am I? What are things that would describe me? So my content, I've chosen 5 topics that I post about, and I don't really stray out of those things because I'm creating a strong brand there. For me, it's about family. It's about, a relationship, a marriage. It's about health and fitness. That is something that I'm really all about. And it's about being happy and my coffee. I really don't post out of that. So what's important when you're trying to create more of a following on social media is that you want to pick out your 3 to 5 things that you can post about that would describe you. Okay. That means you don't want to be sharing a bunch of random videos. Okay. You don't want to be sharing cat videos and this and that and recipes and whatever. Those things might be things that you really love, but maybe that's more of a thing that you save on Pinterest, but you're not posting on your timeline on Facebook. It's really important. You just want to focus on, sharing your life and throwing in information about the coffee and testimonials, and even go on Facebook Live if you're brave enough to jump on a Facebook Live. That has been a lot of fun. Have a friend on with you, interview them, ask them about, what their experience with the coffee has been. That really gains a lot of attention. People get really curious when you do that. So let's see. Another thing I want to share with you guys is sampling and how I go about that. So I have a lot of people reach out to me asking about trying the product. This is my own personal experience, and what I do, I always lead them to try the 6-day experience before I offer the 2-day sample. I know that a 2-day sample will allow them to taste the product. Most likely they're going to be wowed by the product. Most of the time that's the case, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes people need a little bit more time in order to really feel it. Sometimes they need that 3rd day or the 4th day. So I always say, yes, we have a 6-day experience. 6 days is just the right amount of time for you to understand how your body is going to respond to this coffee. And it'll give you a true experience and help you to decide if this is something you'd like to order a month's supply of. If they say, I really don't want to pay, the $30 for the 6-day experience, then I will say, well, I can send you a free 2-day sample if you'd like. It will give you an idea of the taste, and you may be able to also feel the results. I kind of sell the 6-day experience a lot harder than I do the 2-day because I really want them to have 6 days. Most of the time, when I say it in that way, I have people order the 6-day or even the full month supply. That has worked well for me. Let's see. I want to touch on following up with you guys. It's really important. If you're just getting started in network marketing, following up is a really scary part of the process. Yes, Francisco, thank you. That is a great point. We have a 30-day money back guarantee if they order the month supply and they decide they don't love it. Chances are they're going to love it, thankfully. When it comes to following up, I used to feel like I was bugging people. And so then I wouldn't follow up. Or I'd follow up one time, and if I didn't get a response from them, I would feel like, okay, I don't want to keep bugging, so I'm just going to leave them alone. And I lost a lot of people because of that, you guys. Here's the thing. We are really busy people, right? How many of you are guilty of opening a message, whether it was a text message or a message on Facebook, and you forget to reply? And days or weeks can go by and you've totally forgotten to reply. Is anybody guilty of that? Not because you're purposely ignoring the person, but because you got busy. Guys, like, that is so me. I'm like ADD mom brain half of the time because my kids, hello, like, I have kids asking for snacks like all the time. I'm basically just their snack person. And so what happens is, I'm reading a message and then boom, attention's over here and I've forgotten to respond to this message. Keep that in mind when you're following up with people. They're not purposely ignoring you. Most likely they're not. As long as you're being genuine and not being weird, they're not purposely ignoring you, okay? So what you want to do is, don't be afraid to follow up. Let's say you've asked them that, okay, have you heard of this happy coffee everyone is talking about? They say, no, I haven't. The next thing you would do is, hey, check this out. You send them a happy dose, landing page. And then from there, you send the testimonials. And if you're not hearing back from them, shoot them a message and say, like, hey, did you get a chance to look at this? Or, hey, what did you like best? What aspect of this made the most sense to you? There have been times where I've had people not get back to me multiple times, and I've started to feel like, okay, maybe they're ignoring me. What I've done that has worked really well to get somebody to respond to me is you call it out. You say, oh my gosh, did I say something? Did I make it weird? You haven't gotten back to me. If you say something like that, people are going to respond to you and say, oh my gosh, no, I'm sorry, I've just been so busy. That has worked really well for me. Let's see. Following up, usually you guys, a follow-up can take 7 to, I believe it's 12 times following up. Keep that in mind. So if you don't close that sale right away, again, people might just be busy. Don't overthink that. Don't worry about it. Just make sure you're getting that follow-up in. When I say ask for the close, what that sounds like to me is, hey, when would you like to get started on this? That works really well. Is this something that you would like to do? And we do that. I make sure that if somebody's talking about weight loss, I ask them what their goals are. What are your weight loss goals? I want to understand that. And then I make sure that I say, like, hey, what would it mean to you if you could achieve those goals? And I want to know that answer genuinely because I want to know how it will change their life. And not only that, you want them to think about that as well. You want them to understand, like, how would that change my life? Here's the deal, guys. I want you to think about this too. This is something that I realized when I was doing the health and fitness coaching, was that we're not just offering, a happy cup of coffee. We're not just offering, weight loss here. We're offering massive changes for people's lives. When somebody loses weight, I worked with a lot of women in the past with weight loss, and what would happen was so much more changes in that process. It affects their relationship. A lot of times, especially with women, if they're not feeling confident in their own skin and they're not feeling good, it will affect their marriage. It will affect their, romantic level and how comfortable or confident they are with that. It will affect their ability to parent. If you don't feel good in your own skin, you're not exactly gallivanting around and excited about life or being the best version of yourself in your marriage or with your children. But when you feel good about yourself, a lot shifts, a lot changes. And so, again, while you're thinking about helping people, I want you to understand that this is going to have such a ripple effect in their lives that it could possibly affect their marriage. It could affect their children, their friendships, their relationships in their lives. And so again, don't hold back and share that excitement and understand that it really has the ability to change their lives forever. So that is when I'm thinking about, helping people. Those are things that I'm thinking about, and it definitely keeps your motives genuine, and people see that. So these are really the main things that I feel are important with getting started and launching your business: making those phone calls, being genuine, don't oversell it, just share a few things of how it's helping you, and then do the process of that simple process that we all know. And when it comes to social media, just be yourself, share positive content. Your content should add value. That value doesn't have to be monumental. It could just be funny or sarcastic or whatever it is that adds value to you, what you would like to see. That's what you need to do with your content. And, don't be afraid to be salesy. If your heart's in the right place, you're not going to be slimy or salesy. Just focus on helping people. The final thing that I want to share with you is celebrate people and love them hard. You guys, a lot of people are not used to being celebrated in their everyday life. Okay. They work their butt off at work. They are, working hard at home. They're serving their family. They are used to working and not getting a lot of recognition. So when you have the opportunity to recognize somebody, you have the opportunity to celebrate somebody, you need to do that. Something that I promised myself a long time ago was, when I see somebody with awesome hair or a cute outfit or they're pretty, and I used to think that just in my head, like, oh, wow, she's really pretty, or, I like this, or I like that. I'd keep it to myself. And I thought, well, that's stupid. That's not doing anybody any good by just keeping it to myself. And so I started making sure that I voiced it. Like, hey, girl, you are working it. You look so good. Say that. And so when you have the ability to do that, even just on social media, you need to do that. And so what happens is, you celebrate those customers and you make them feel good. But not only that, you guys, when you start growing a team, you need to understand why they're here. You need to understand what their goals are, and you need to be the biggest cheerleader in their corner that they have ever had. Okay. If you put your team before yourself, and if you want them to achieve their goals more than you want your own, you're going to be successful. Naturally, it's just going to happen. Okay. If you are in this just for yourself because you're trying to get a manicure and new jeans or whatever that is, people are going to feel that, and they're not going to be excited to work with you. They're not going to be, wanting to grow this business alongside you. But if you know their why, I know my team's why. I know why they're here. I know what their goals are, and I want them to achieve those goals more than I want it for myself, times 100. That is the biggest thing that will help you once you start growing a team. Celebrate the what out of your team. Love them really hard and be their biggest supporter and cheerleader. I think that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I hope that was helpful. If there's any questions that you guys have, please feel free to ask.
You rock and roll, lady. That was a lot of value right there. Thank you for everything that you did today. It was a great, great training for everyone. Awesome job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm proud of you, okay? Proud of you that you're part of this team.
Thank you, Francisco. Very, very much. I appreciate you guys. All right, guys, if we don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. You guys have an awesome day today. Go share some happy. Go celebrate somebody. All right, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.